Me this thing ain't right. Let's try to get it right here. Need to be able to see everything if we can. I don't know if we're going to be able to. I might have to move it up. Did anyone watch the Chiefs and the Lions? That was an interesting outcome. Not surprising. I think we saw the absence of Kelsey, possibly the absence of Bieniemy. But overall, the game was kind of decided on the drops by the Chiefs receivers. I would say overall that was kind of the case. The drops by the Chiefs receivers kind of dictated the game. So George. So we're going to do $1,000 buy-in again. All we're doing. Thank you, Ken. Again, all we're doing is playing aggressively. Just attack, attack, attack. That's the plan here. I will probably be. Guys wanted me to mark the ATS all the time, whether I play it or not. What's up, Joker? Whether I play it or not, I'm going to mark it because that's what guys asked me to do. So let's go. Let's get it going. Again, we're just going to attack, attack, attack. Nothing special to it. Press, press, press. Start with maybe $150 6 and 8 because that kind of is the best way to get this going. And then when one of them hits, we spread out to 160 and we see where it goes from there. Again, last time we did pretty well. The first time we got wrecked. So last time, at one point last time in the last video, we're at 8,000 at one point. So again, let's see what happens. Let's start with $25 line bet. And we'll play the ATS to start. We'll go quarter, quarter, quarter on the ATS. This is just starting out, guys. See where it goes from here. Here we go. Well, everything just went crazy right there. Drop the dice, drop the stick. All right, so try this again. Let's go. Coming out. 6 deuce 8. 6 2 8. Mark our 8 up. Ike, Larry. All right, see what we got. Let's go 150, 150 to start. If we can get one hit, obviously we will go to 160 style. And we're still shooting the ATS, so let's see what happens. 3 1 4. Go, come back here. I can't grab the stick or nothing. Five, 4, 9. Would love to hit a 6 and 8 pretty quick here. Don't want to let this go too long before hitting a 6 and 8. 5, 4, 9. I'm shooting a little harder than normal. I need to calm that down a little bit. 3 deuce 5. Would really like this to come up 6 or 8. That way we can get into our playing on just profit money. I need to mark the 5. I didn't mark the 5 yet. There's the 9. Sure, someone's telling me to. We hit the 5 and 9 a bunch already. No 6s in it. Well, we hit the original 8, the initial one, but it doesn't count as a winner. 7 out. That's a brutal roll right there with no 8. We did that the other day though, where we didn't. Our first roll didn't have no 6s and 8s in it. And our second roll was a monster. So maybe that happens today. I don't know. So let's drop 75 for our ATS again. We're going to run it one more time, unless it obviously something changes. Definitely had plenty of rolls there to make money. It just we never hit our 6 and 8. There's a 6. Of course, we're going to hit it next roll, right? 5, 1. Oh, crap. We need to put our bets down, don't we? Let's go 150, 150. I think we'll get one this time, hopefully. Four deuce six, there it is. Much better. At least we get a start. We can go for it now. So we're going to win 175. We win a quarter on the line. I almost forgot it. Let's get $5 or 5 red chips. All right, we'll be off on the come out, but now we're playing for free. There's the heart 8 square pair. Again, I know you're supposed to move that back in odds, guys, but I'm not going to mess around with moving them back and forth. I'm just going to play through it. Yeah, that's a big question, Royce. I've actually answered that question a lot of other times. Basically, I play the 6, 7, 8 all the time. I just make adjustments as I'm playing it. 3 deuce 5. I play the 6, 7, 8 basically exclusively and make adjustments off that. Press the 6. I was half pressing yesterday. I'm gonna go on attack mode here, see if I can't get a couple good rolls in. Hard 10, there we go. Hard 10. We're gonna drop $5. Get 4 change. Get 50. I think we'll press the 9. Five, 4, 9. That was a good one to press. That was a good press. It's going to win 70. That's what we wanted. Here we go. Oh, come on. 4, 3, 7. That was a really pretty looking roll, too. Really pretty looking roll. I'm not going back up on the ATS myself. Drop a quarter for the pass line. Here we go. Check out some comments. I leave Arkansas. Regularly. I just have 2 young children, so I can't leave for extended periods of time. There's a 12. It was not an 8, guys. It was 12. And my kid, my oldest son, has a lot going on. He plays football, baseball. 4 deuce 6. So we rolled a 12. I guess I need to mark that in a 6. Even though we're not on it, I know people wanted me to do that. We're going to play the 5 and 9 as well. Remember, we're just being aggressive here. I'm just showing that aggression works. And maybe we'll go for 2 hits here. 3, 1, 4. We don't have that one. Five, 1, 6, that's the point. That's going to win 175 and a quarter. Grab the 4 and the 10 for 50, rack this 100. We're off on the come out. Nine is our point. Oh, did you see how that one dug? I got to get that fixed. I didn't get no bounce to the wall. 617. That's a brutal 7, because I think if that would have hit the wall, I'd have got a different number. I think I would have got a different number there. Yeah, but on this one I don't. On this run it up, I've just been attacking. Now I have done a half press style on number 2, but I've just been attacking on this one. All right, so I'm getting a marker. We're 2,000 in now. Our initial 1,000 plus another 1,000. I'm only gonna go to 4,000. If it goes to 4,000, it's a loss to me. Like I feel like we're going to get more aggressive. I'm going to get some green chips. We're 2,000 in now. Let's get a line bet. Off on the come out. Again, guys, I'm not teaching strategy here. I'm not trying to tell someone this is how to play. I'm just saying that aggression works. That's all I'm trying to show. So I'm going to do 10 shows of this. And out of the 10 shows, I believe there'll be 3 or 4 that do really, really well. Right? Let's mark that 8. Now, aggression tends to take bankroll. You tend to have a good bankroll to be aggressive. Ooh, 617. That was a really good looking shot, too. That was a PSO. And if I lose on this session, I lose on this session. I'm going to have to get another marker. Can't put all your money out there then PSO. That ain't going to work. But that's what happened. Let's do it again. I know people right here are going to say, yeah, but if you just had endless money, you could just keep putting money out there and doing that. Well, that's true. You could. That's actually a very true statement. But I'm only going to go to 4,000. If I go to 4,000, it's a loss. Let's put this on the line. And I know people are going to be like, no one has 4,000 to gamble with. That's bullshit. I see people put that much money on the table all the time. Here we go. And they come out 12. Okay. I'm not trying to teach no strategy here. I'm not telling you to play this way. All I'm showing here is that in 10 episodes, by just using aggression, you will win. You will have plenty of winners. Like we could have already left earlier in episode 2 with $8,000. Now in episode 1 we lost 4, but that still would have been 4,000 up. Three, 2, 5 is our point. And that's all I'm showing in this series. I'm just showing that being aggressive matters. You also have to hit numbers. That also matters. If you don't hit numbers, you will lose. 3, 2, 5. And that goes for any style of play. If you're on the dark side and you're not hitting winner sevens, you're going to lose. 140 on that 5, plus 25 on the line. Let's take the 6 to 300. Here we go, coming out. Box numbers are off. Oh, short roll. We'll call it good. It's a 6. I really got to take some time and fix that part of my felt right there. I don't know why it came loose from my underlayment. I'm not really sure if I don't have it tight enough or what. Six, 3, 9. That's going to win 140. Let's press that 4 up. 200 on the 4. Come on, 4. Five, 3, 8. That's going to win 175. 5, 3, 8. Take it to 300. Aces at both the places. Uh-oh. Starting to make ground. Got the 12 and the 2 out of the way on this shooter. Six, 5, yo. Oh, down to the 10 for the tall. Now I know I'm not on it, but people wanted me to keep track of it. That's why I'm keeping track of it. We can play the DPDC and be aggressive, absolutely. Yeah, I would love to play with everybody. Come on, 10. Hard 4, we pressed that one. That's a good one. That's a good one. So we're going to drop $10 for 200. Or for 400, sorry. For 400. That's pretty convenient. One, 2, 3, that is the small. The SMALL small. 1, 2, 3. So all you guys that are playing at home, you just hit the small. If we get the 10, we will hit the all and the tall. And we did not. 4, 3, 7. Oh, that was such a pretty roll too. Now, obviously, we were maybe a little too aggressive there. And guys, there is too aggressive. So maybe I need to point that out in this video, these videos. There is too aggressive. And what I've been doing the last couple rolls would fall under too aggressive. Because we had way more than enough big hits there that we should have came out of that hand with $300 or $400 in the positive. Not counting the small. And we didn't play it, but not even counting that. So, what we definitely should have made a couple $100 there, and we didn't, and that's my fault because I was full pressing too many times. I'm not saying never full press, but you can't repeatedly full press and never collect nothing, and that's what I did in that case. So there is a balance to it. That's why I like the half press so much. Coming out, box numbers are off. There's the 5. That's why I like the half press more than any other pressing method. That was not a 9, guys, or a 10. It was a 5. Six, 4, 10. We're going to drop $5 for 200. So like putting all this money back into the game doesn't make a lot of sense, right? We're not gaining nothing that way. You want to collect half of it. And by half of it, it doesn't have to be exact, guys. Like if you collect 18 and you press 24 or something, that's fine. I mean, that makes total sense, guys. 5, 3, 8. Just something close to half. 175. So pressing 150 here is obviously not close to half, right? But if we just took this and we pressed 100 on the 4, we collect 75 and pressed 100. That's reasonable. Hard 4, good press, Jacob. So we're going to drop $10 for 400. So like right here, if we invest this whole 400, we didn't make anything. So we need to only invest 200. So let's make our 8 look like 300. Bring back 250. Hard 4 again. Yes, sir. Hard 4 again. So that's going to win 400. We got to drop a quarter. We're going to get 15 change. We're going to get 400. Again, let's do the same thing to the 6 here. Take it to 300. Rack everything up. That way we're putting some money in the rack as well. Still being hyper aggressive. I mean, look at the table. We're crushing the table. And we've racked up some money. Oh, come on. Maybe I hit that one a little too hard. 5 do 7. But that, see, we basically broke even on the hand there. And we were in line to make a chunk. In line to make a chunk. Now, you can make the argument, well, you did. You won $400 twice. Why didn't you get out of the hand? If you were playing real, and I wasn't just showing this as just showing that aggression is what you need to do. Yeah, if you hit 2 4s, made $400, you probably should just regress down. If we were talking strategy, but that's not what we're talking here. We're talking just be aggressive. There's the 6, 5, 1. All right, let's see what we got. See, I think we basically broke even because it looked like I have basically the same amount of money. Maybe we lost a little, but we couldn't have lost that much. Aces. Four, there we go, we'll take that. 3, 1. We're going to drop $5 for 200. Let's do the 5, rack 100. Aces again. Wow. So hard to hit them when you need them. $12. It's also hard to hit that one. Also difficult to hit that one. Six, deuce, eight. That is the prettiest roll right there. Both of them just tumbled flat right to the wall and stopped. 175. Let's put 90 more on the six. Hard four. We've been killing that hard four, haven't we? Hard four has been friendly. Oh, we already got it. So let's drop $5 to get 200. So we're gonna get 20 and change. Then 200. Let's press that 9. Ah, 5, deuce, 7. So I'm only getting to about 7 or 8 rolls here on average, which is normal for me. That's not unusual. In fact, that's probably a little above average. But yeah, obviously, if we're just doing this with no strategy involved and just pure aggression, you got to get to a few more than that. Let's get our last 1,000 that we're allowed. $1,000. We're going to go super hyper aggressive here. Yeah, I mean, you would have to. And again, that you guys are looking at this like this is a strategy. Like that's that comment race right there. You're acting like this. I'm not doing that. This isn't a strategy. I don't advise you to play this way as far as go 600 and 700 across. No, I'm just saying, I'm just showing that aggression works, that aggression matters. I'm not telling you to do this as a strategy. Dropping 200 for 8 chips here. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just pointing out, I'm trying to show as abruptly that aggression means something. Obviously, you want to pare this down to fit your strategy, whatever your aggressive angle of your strategy is. But you have to be aggressive in this game. If you're not going to be aggressive, you're always just going to bleed away house edge. There's a 7. If you're not going to make any type of moves, if you're not going to be any type of aggressive, you're not going to press or whatever, you're always subject to the house edge. Hard tip. I know I'm going to get the comments like, you have house edge on every bet you play. Well, if you have house edge on every bet you play, we're playing $150 6 and 8. We hit one, and then we drop down to 160 across. We have no house edge at that point because there's no risk to our bankroll on the table. So house edge is non-existent. But I know I'll get those comments. Hard 10 right back. Nice. I know I didn't have it in odds and whatever. I'll drop a nickel for 200. Quarter on the flat. Stack it up to 50. And you know, press that 4 because the hard 4 has been loving us. We'll be off on the come out. Six, deuce, 8. Here we go. Can we get a few winners? Some wieners. Three, two, five. Three, two, five. That's 140. Let's just I'm gonna press the 550. I know it's collecting a little more than usual. That's what I'm gonna do there. $639. It's gonna win 140 as well. Take the 9 to 150. So this is slightly less aggressive. 6 deuce 8, that's the point. So it's going to win 175 and 50 because we stacked up that line bet. Stack it up again, just for fun. Actually, let's not stack it up because we're going to use it to go to 300. On the 6. Here we go. Box numbers are off. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, I'm glad we didn't stack it up. We are going to lose that. We'll go back to a quarter. Can we get the aces? Five deuce 7. Okay, sorry for everyone's ATS, but it just got reset. We are going to win on the line. We'll stack it up. Remember, box numbers were off. Still off. Four, 1, 5. Here we go. 5, 1, 6. That's $300 6. Let's go win 350. I'm gonna make it look right. That's all. I didn't press nothing. I just made it look right. I'm gonna make my 8 look like 300, and I'm gonna rack up all whatever that is. Yo! Six, 5, yo. Five, 3, 8. Let's go win 350, guys. Let's press our 10. And let's press the 9 to 200. We'll rack 200. Four, 1, 5. That's our point. It's already marked, obviously. We're going to win 50 flat. And that's going to pay 210 up there. 150 pays 210. And then 50 on the flat. Let's take that, just boost that on up. Take that to 200. All right, so we're on 200 on everything but the 6 and 8, where we're at 300. $100 line bet. Here we go, coming out, everything's off. 5 deuce 7. Sorry, I had to reset the ATS again. We're going to win 100 on the line. I'm going to press my 4 to 150 or 250, sorry. And we're just going to shoot again. $639 is our new point. On the lean, the mean lean. It's not an 11, guys, it was a 9. Aces. Mark that aces. I haven't been looking at the chat. How's everyone doing? Dustin, how are you? Yeah, man, I'm not showing a strategy here, guys. I'm just showing aggression. I'm just showing that aggression is important. If you want to do all this strategy talk you guys are talking about, that's great. That's not at all what I'm showing here. There's a 12. I'm just showing being aggressive matters. Bumping your bets up matters. It gets you there quicker. That's all I'm trying to show. Oh, 5 deuce 7. That was such a pretty shot. That was a long roll. We hit the 7 on the come out a handful of times. What would we give back there? We gave back like $1,700 or $1,600. So if you were playing with strategy, and this was a strategy, and I'm just showing that, hey, you were being aggressive in a strategy. Hello, Dustin. You would have regressed some of that. And again, guys, I'm not telling you to play what I'm playing here. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just showing it because it has shock value. And I'm showing you that aggression works. Like in that strategy right there, we could have knocked out half of those markers. Like, not strategy, but in that shot right there, we could have knocked out half of those markers. That's all I'm talking about. 5-1-6. Oh, we didn't have a line there. We meant to. Five, 4, 9. So this time what I'm going to do to try to speed this process up a little bit, all of the hits, I'm going to press on the 6 and 8. So 140, I'm going to make it, this is like a power press, I'm going to take the 8 up to 300. So this is a more aggressive type of aggression. $639 again. So it's going to be 140. And you can press any number you want, guys. Pressing what the number, that's what you guys care about. Like it's what you think is going to hit. It honestly doesn't matter all that much which one you press. Five, 4, 1, 5. Mark that. It's going to win 140. All right, so this was our third hit. We're also going to press this one, but I'm going to put this one on the 4. So now we can go into half press. If we can hit the 6 and 8 a few times, we might do something. There's the 6. We'll take it. 4 deuce. It's going to win a quarter there. It's going 350 up here. All right, so now we can press the 5 and 9 for 200 and still collect 175. So that's a pretty good half press. Here we go, box numbers are off. Oh, 3 deuce 5 on the short roll. Again, that part of my felt's messed up. Just got to work on it a little bit. But working on it's a pain in the butt because this craps table's heavy and I need help. $415 point made. That was quick. So we got 200, so that pays 280 and a quarter. So that's 305 total. So I paid my quarter and I paid my 280. That's 305, guys. That's what I did there. That way no one's confused. All right, box numbers are off. 415, we're killing this 5. Absolutely just demolishing it. One, two, three. Okay. Oh, we moved our pin. Six, 4, 10. That's going to be $10 for 400. You'd like that? We'll take that one. $10 for 400. Let's press the 10. Press the 4. Maybe we can get, you know, a $600 hit. Let's see. Oh, I thought we had it. 3 deuce 5. We'll take that one though. That's another $305. It's 280 up here and 25 there, which makes 305. Let's press that 5. It's been good to us. So as you guys can see, just like right here in this instance, right? If you're playing this aggressively and this is what you're doing, think about what you got on the table. 300, 600, 900, 1200, 1500, 1600, $1,700 on the table. If you were down $4,000, might be time to get 1,000 of that off the table. But we're not going to do that here just because we're just showing aggression. But I just want to point that out. You're in this situation, might not be a terrible idea to make a move. Box numbers are off. You got an 11, we'll take that. That's a quarter winner. Let's throw it on the field just for fun. Five, okay, it's definitely not a field winner, but it's our favorite number of the day. The 4-1. And it's the 4-1 almost every time. And I may be wrong on that. It may not always. It seems like the 4-1 has come up a lot. Six, 2, 8 on the leaner. The mean leaner over there. The 6 deuce 8. It's going to win 350. We need the 12 for the tall. Let's put 150 more on the 6, collect 200. We need the 12 for the tall, guys. Can we get the tall? Six deuce 8. We'll take that though. We will take that. That's going to win 350. Press that one. So as you guys can tell, if we were going to re-rack our 4,000, we're probably pretty close. So we have 2,000 basically in the rack, and we probably have 2,000 on the board. Let me see, 3, 6, 9, 11, Yeah, I mean, we have 2,000 on the board and 2,000 in the rack. We could pay our marker off. We could pay our marker off right here. So this is what aggression does. Now I get that this is a fantastic roll, but this is the point, is that you can have these runs like this. You can have these runs where they do pay off like this. So let's just pay out of the rack. Let's see what happens here. That's 400. Let me get this. So that's 1,500 right there. Oh. So there's 2,000 right there. So we're knocking off 2 markers. Put all this up. We have 2,000 on the board. Exactly 2,000 out there, not counting the pass line. So we're actually up this much money after being down $4,000. We're actually up these chips. So let me make sure. So 300, 600, 1,500, $2,000. So this is all just aggression. That's all it was. We didn't do anything but be aggressive. And we were able to pay this back if we wanted. We're going to roll it out just for fun. 516. So that is going to win 350, 450, 525. Let's make that look like 600. Let's bump our 9. Four. Okay, that's a $600 winning 4. 314. We needed it for the ATS. Now we need the 2 and the 12, guys. We're going to drop $15, so it's $5 per 100, right? $5 per 100. So we're going to get 6 of those hundreds. And we'll put that on there and we'll just rack this up. So at this point now, we can pay off the other 2 markers if we want. You want to pay off the other 2 markers? We can. We'll still be way up. 600, 700, we're about 800 up in the rack, plus whatever is out there, so it's 12, 18, we're up. We could drop down to 600, 700 across again and still be winning and still be profitable at this point right now. We could pay off all the markers and drop down and still be way up. 538. That's a $700 winner, guys. 538. Put 500 on that. $426. That's also a $700 winner. So there's 2,000 just in blue chips. Just in the blue chips. That would pay back our marker if you so chose. Let me see what we got in the rack. 5, 1, 15, 16. We've got about 1,800 in the rack, 17, 1,800 in the rack. Hard 4, that's another $600 winner. Well, not quite. I guess it's 585. We're going to drop 15 for 600. Oh, there it was. It jumped off that 8. 617. So obviously, guys, at any point in time here, you could have paid all that off. That's fine. I fully consider this one a win. You guys saw exactly what I'm talking about in this strategy. Now, did it take us going $4,000 deep? It did. But one good roll brought it all back. And even if we lost that, I believe we still got there here. $2,000. So we're actually profitable that much. We could use this, pay off these markers, even after losing everything on the board, and we're still up $200. Aggression, guys. Aggression matters in craps. It matters. If you're same betting all the time, you're same losing. I'm not making this up. I'm not telling you a story here. I'm not doing it for content. I'm trying to explain to you guys that aggression matters. That's why I'm not running a strategy in this. I'm just pressing and pressing and pressing, and essentially using a bankroll to fund the craps game. All it takes is one good roll. Now, that's if you're just purely playing aggressive. So now what you got to do is you got to take your aggression. You got to take your aggression and you got to add it to your strategy. Yeah. I mean, it is fun. It is fun when you're what you're trying to show and you prove it by showing it live like this, you know. Obviously, I have a full-size craps table. I have craps casino dice, and everything I got is real besides my messed up fill right now, you know. But all I'm just trying to show in these set of videos, guys, is that add aggression to your strategy. If your strategy is too mundane, if it's too same betty, that's why it's probably not winning enough. You have to take some chances. You have to be somewhat risky. You are gambling. It is better to lose your $100 betting $5 on the 12 every roll than it is to bleed away a $6 6 and 8 and never do any pressing. Because at least all you have to do is hit one roll and you made money. You have to have some aggression to your game. Here's the problem, okay? I know I've been saying that I'm not playing a strategy, but the truth of the matter is you could call this a strategy. This is a type of strategy that wealthy gamblers play. They bring a lot of money to the table, and then they wait for a long roll, and they press, and in that one long roll, because they're being hyper aggressive, they rack in a bunch of money. But I'm trying to make this an everyman thing. So everyman, you know, the $200 player, you can still play your $6 6 and 8, but play it with some balls, you know, press, give it a couple presses. That way on the long roll, when you do catch that long roll, you're getting that 6 and 8 up to 90 or something, and your $200 turns into $700 instead of your $200 turns into $175. You play all day and you leave down a quarter, you know. Give yourself, I know you could lose the 200 easily, but at least you're giving yourself a chance to make some real gains. You have to play aggressively, guys. You have to. If you're not, and this is what I mean by you're just allowing yourself to be house edged. I'm going to show it just with chips. I don't hardly do stuff like this because I don't like doing things without a rollout. But in this instance, it's fine. Here we go. So we have, and this could be a $15, $18 6 and 8 at a $5 table. Okay, so let's say you have 150 on the 6 and 8, right? You have 150. I do need an eye in the sky camera. You have 150 on the 6 and 8. Boom, your point's 5. Boom, you hit your 8. You win 175. And again, guys, this could be, you could have 18 and be winning 21. It doesn't make any difference. All right, 175. Now you choose to pull these down. So you had risk and house edge on that play. Now you choose to pull these down, play across your numbers, and you have more than $300 still left in your rack. Right? So even if you have the caps on there, you have $15 in profit sitting here. In fact, let's do it all right. Let's trade it in for red chips. That way the visual is perfect. All right, now you have $315. Now, I know you risked 152 times, so you risked $300 to get here, but you hit this, right? Now you have no house edge. There's no house edge on anything here because your initial start out was 300. You put 150 out there. The initial start was 300. Well, you have 315 at home. All of that out there is a free run against the casino. This is the point where same bet makes sense because it's all profit. Previous to this, same bet doesn't make any sense. So either you want to be regressing to gain profit or you want to be pressing to put pressure. Put pressure on making more money. Right? So in this case, no matter what comes up next, we can't be hurt. We have more than we started with. So there is no house edge on these bets. No matter what anyone wants to say, from your initial bankroll, from what you walked up to the table with, if you get in this situation, there's no house edge. All right, let's make it smaller. Show the same thing, but in a bubble craps version. Here's a bubble craps version. 35 on a 6 and 8. Bang, you hit it. You win $30 with 6 and 8. Boom, you hit 35. Now you tell yourself, because it's you doing it, you say, hey, I'm going to drop down to 32 across. Let's get some red chips. Trade in for some white chips. You started with 60. You now have 63 and you have a free 32 across. You're not playing with house edge then. You're not. You're playing, there's no risk there to you. And these are the situations you want to get yourself to as a craps player. You want to get yourself to where you're playing with money that isn't out of your pocket, that's from winnings at the casino. When you get to this point, now the aggression is easy, right? It's easy to be aggressive when you're on house money. It's much harder to be aggressive when it was the money you worked for. So when you get here, it's time to go for it. And be creative. Be creative when you go for it. Say, you know what? I'm just going to press the 10. Every hit I get, I'm going to press the 10. When it rolls, boom. Maybe you say, you know what? Every hit I get, I'm going to press the hard 6. You know, and maybe you smack that hard 6 and there's $120 on it. You know, that stuff happens, guys, but you have to put yourself in the position. You have to put yourself in the position to make it happen. The casino is not going to help you with it. They don't want you to do that to them. The casino doesn't want you to do what I just showed. They don't want you to hit a bigger bet and regress down to where they're not playing for any of your money. They don't want you to do that. They want you to always be playing for your money and their money. They don't want you just playing for their money. And that's the key to being successful. Aggression and playing with profit. If you're playing with profit and you got aggression and you're aggressive, you're going to be a more successful craps player than the guy that's just same betting. Now, it may not be every day. You know, there might be a handful of days a week where he does better than you because he comes home with $20 extra. But the one day a week that you smash and you end up with $600 or $700 over your bankroll, you know, that's the difference. It's not a one roll thing. It's not a one session thing, not a one shooter thing. This is what you can do over time if you'll stick with this. Yeah, that's an interesting question, Skill. I would say the high majority of craps players are highly conservative. And I say that even though they might come to the table and they might go, they might say 64 across. But that is the max of their aggression. They go 64 across and then they just collect. Even though the roll might go on for 20 rolls, they just collected. So they made the absolute minimum. And then the guy that went 110 inside and regressed down after 2 hits to 64 and then pressed to the ceiling, he made $1,000. And so that's the difference. I would say I say conservative. I bet most players fall in a moderate conservative level. New players, I would say, fall in a level that doesn't really count. If you're not if you're not well played in the craps world, like if you haven't done if you haven't seen, quite a few rolls and lost some money on a craps table, you are probably, yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely right, Royce. They go with not enough money. Craps is an expensive casino game, guys. Make no mistake. You can come and play one bet and it's a cheap game, but if you want to actually play craps is an expensive game to play at the casino. It's much cheaper to play other games, much cheaper. You can play slots. You can even like blackjack. You can find a $10 blackjack table and play for a long time on $10 or on $100 or $200, or in the case we just mentioned, $500. But you take a $500 to a $10 craps table, and you're actually playing the game where you're actually investing 50, 60, 70 bucks a hand. That's not very many hands. It's not very many shooters. So again, craps is an expensive game, and I think people don't realize that. And so people come with $500 and then they want to go, and then they want to go and say, oh, they're going to play the bonus every time. They're throwing out $20 in hard ways every time. They're playing a horn bet, on the come out. Next thing you know, just the first roll of the dice has 60 bucks on it. Okay, let me look at it again. Skill. Okay, the right balance part. So I think if you'll teach yourself to half press, I think half pressing puts you in the right balance. Understanding that the half press works for you and against the casino at the same time. Once you get that understanding, you realize why half pressing is important. Full pressing, if you're gonna full press, you have to full press with the idea that there's a limit to it. Like you're gonna full press twice and then go, and then and then change it up. You can't just full press all the time because you're investing all the money back into the game. You have to be pulling some money back. Now, I will say this. I'll say something. A lot of people like press and collect, right? A lot of people like press and collect. I'm going to explain to you why press and collect, in my opinion, is the wrong way to press. Because what happens with press and collect sometimes is you get caught up in a cycle of hitting points and come outs and stuff, where if you're half pressing, you're going to be winning consistently on those rolls. Where if you're pressing and collecting, you might always be hitting in the wrong sequence. Or when you're half pressing, or not half pressing, but if you're pressing and collecting, you might press a number, collect the next one, and then press the next hit, but you're never getting back to the big presses. You're just hitting the holes. And this happens too much. So you're not collecting enough. I know it seems like it's the same thing, but it's not. You can do the math yourself. You just put 32 across. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Dustin. And a lot of times, guys, people are playing conservative because they are cynical to the game. You have to go to the game with the positive type attitude, and I've proven that in these last series of lives. Right, when I was falling into a very cynical, it's just not going my way thought process. Well, it kept doing that, and I kept messing up, and I kept losing. But when you're in the positive side of it, when you're positive toward what's going to happen at the table, like what I've been doing in this set of videos, I'm very positive because I'm confident in what's going to happen. Even though it may take 4 markers, eventually I'm going to get that run I need, and boom, it's going to come back home. Now, yeah, awesome, Mike. Now, obviously, video 1 didn't go good, right? We didn't make it. We lost $4,000. But video 2 racked up to $8,000. And I'm not really sure exactly how much this one would have made if we would have took down at the highest point, maybe like $3,000, something like that. But that's what I'm getting at, is that the thought process here is it's just about aggression. I just people that are in craps that are getting into craps that haven't been through the ringer on it yet. Because I hate to tell all the new craps players, but you're going to take a beating. You're going to take a beating because a couple things are going to happen, and I don't know that this has happened to every craps player that becomes an actual. What I mean by craps players, you do it more than once or twice a year. You actually, you care about it. You watch it on YouTube. You actually give a damn what's happening on the craps table. Um, I'm not exactly sure what you said there. I'm a little confused by that comment, Dusted. Your convenience shouldn't your profitable play. I'm not really sure what you mean there. Can you clear that up for me? But so I think that all that factors in. I kind of lost my train of thought there, so I was trying to figure out what Dusted was saying. Um, but once you take your lumps and you get an idea of what you need to be doing at the table, you get a lot more consistent, and you can consistently win. And I know here's another thing. Okay, you got to understand who you are at the table. If you're a guy that traveled 6 hours to go to a casino for a weekend, okay, got you. Confidence, yes, that makes sense now. If you're a guy, or you're a Hawaiian guy that travels all the way across the ocean and comes to Vegas and you got a weekend or 6 days or something, I get it. You got to play a different way. You're trying to do two things. You're trying to make money and have fun. If you're a guy that lives in the same 6 blocks from a casino, you could go in for $50 a day. And there is some logistics involved in gambling. If you're close to gambling, it makes it a lot easier to be consistent. If you're far away from gambling, it makes it much harder to be consistent because you get a much smaller window to play. I'm not very far from gambling. My closest casino is about an hour and a half, and it's a very easy hour and a half. So I can zip over there, I can play for a couple of hours, and I can leave. And there's no negative to it. I don't have to get a hotel. I don't go do nothing like that. I can play it anytime I want because I can run over there at 2 in the morning. So there's no one on the table, and I can just go play by myself. Not everyone has that, and I understand that. That's a big part of being a craps player too, or having any affinity for the game. Is how close are you to the casino? How much time can you actually spend there? Because sometimes to be a winner at craps, it takes a little time. Sometimes it takes a little while. Sometimes you have to go through a bad run, or sometimes the table is just, even though your strategy is winning, it might be minimum winning. You might be winning just the minimum, and it takes you a while to build any momentum. And so those are the kind of things that a lot of guys have to factor in. And I totally understand. If you live a distance away, I get why you have to be the way you have to be. I get it. But if you don't, and you should have no excuse. You should be playing correctly, and you should be winning pretty often. I'm not saying you should win every night. I'm not saying you should win every session. But if you live close enough where you can get a pretty high volume of shots in, and you can get a pretty high volume of seeing rolls, and you should win a lot. I mean, you should be pretty consistent. Like all the guys that live in the gambling meccas like Vegas and Atlantic City and stuff, they can go to 10 different casinos in 15 minutes. They can bounce around and win $30 here, $40 here. You walk down Fremont Street and boom. Yeah, the half pressing matters, man. I used to really harp on this half pressing, and some of that's my fault. I know there's a lot of new viewers that I haven't really touched with a lot of my original concept stuff. That a lot of the guys that have been around a while, they all got to see me go through it all, and all my concept stuff with the half pressing. And so a lot of these guys got to see all that. I would say go back and look at my whole videos, but I get it. You're probably not gonna. And it's on my green felt. It's not a full size table. There's some differences there, but the concepts are all there. They're all the same. Half pressing matters. You guys can do the math. If you don't believe me, judge half pressing between full pressing between Press and collect, you'll see the math in half pressing matters more. It's a thing called, it's like cumulative interest, compounding interest is what it is. You're compounding your interest each time. You half press because you are collecting, but you're reinvesting. So you're always putting money in your pocket, but you're always reinvesting into the game to make more money. So what it means is that on the good runs are better. The good runs are better. And the bad runs aren't as bad because you did collect some. And that's what it does. So it kind of eliminates some of the roller coaster. Um, yeah, that's probably a great idea, Royce. And yes, I would say that if you're playing light side craps, sticking it out for the fewest number of rolls possible before you get the profit you need per shooter is the best. Like if you just need 2 rolls to hit and then you can be out of the hand and be comfortable with winning $50, that's a pretty good strategy. I mean, you're going to be able to do that a lot of times in a session. And the number of times you're able to do that in a session is probably going to work out to a profitable session. Problem is it's hard for craps players to stick to that kind of discipline because that's very, very strict discipline to just stick to like 2 hits and then get out, 4 rolls and then get out. I mean, that's a tough discipline to stick to, especially what gets guys is when they see a 30 roller and they're like, man, I missed all that money because now they're losing their discipline right there. They're letting the game affect them, even though they came in with this plan that, hey, I'm willing to win $50 and be good with it. Then they see the table win $1,000 and they're like, man, I missed out. Now, that's all strategy, though. That's not aggression. That's strategy. That's a different thing. If you're playing a 2 hit type strategy or a 4 roll type strategy, the aggression has to be from the beginning. You have to start with aggression. There's not going to be any build. So that is a strategy play. That type of play, which is effective, it's never going to win you a lot. It's never going to give you a chunk, but you're going to have a whole bunch of small wins, which will add up to probably something similar over time. Because the guy that is really aggressive is going to have losses too. Right, and that's usually yeah, and that's usually um, why guys get to that, right? They get to the regression style. And the regression style, guys, if you want to be the regression style is the most consistent style of craps. If you're going to start and if it's like a 1 hit regression, where you only have to have 1 hit to regress to your base model, you're gonna win a lot. You're gonna win, and I'm not saying a lot as in dollar amount. I'm saying a lot as in profitable days. So like Skill's really good at these regression things. He has a lot of the math down and a lot of what you can go from to and stuff and 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit stuff. Skill's really good at this, guys. So he's way better to ask than me about this. But like what I showed on here, like the 156 and 8 to 160 across, guys. Now you only have 10 ways to win that. But if you can hit that, let's say you can hit the 6 and 8 and put it like this. Let's say you hit the 6 and 8 and you could play it this way. You just rack that 160 and you put it to the side. You leave that 6 and 8 up. And let's say it hits again. You rack that 160 and put it to the side. All right. And then it sevens out. So now I know you lost 300, but you got two next shooters at 160 across. And then you see what happens. So there's all kinds of ways to play regression. It's not just standard. There's ways to do it that change it up. And again, guys, this is all everything I tell you guys and put on here and talk about is because I've had absolutely terrible, ridiculously bad days at the casino that led me to all these conclusions that led me to having the good days at the casino. I've had plenty of really, really, really bad days. Really bad days. Lost way more money than I should have multiple times. But that's what's led me to being able to win money consistently. It's not a negative thing. It's what you have to go through. And I know the new guys are like, no, I'm just going to watch everyone's stuff and go do it. Well, if you can do that, you're probably going to win. But I believe you're going to get up there, and then the game is going to take you over, and you're going to get aggressive or conservative, and you're going to miss out, or you're going to be too aggressive and you're going to get whacked. And then you're going to come back, and this happens. You're going to come back to the craps channel that you saw the strategy on. You're like, your strategy didn't work. And then someone's going to ask you, well, what did you do? Well, I was playing the strategy, but then the table got hot, so I decided to start playing a $90 6 and 8. And so when you get the full story, well, you really didn't play the strategy. You really just did what you wanted, and because I've had this happen a lot. This got absolutely obliterated on some strategy. I'm like, okay, well, how'd that happen? Because generally, most of the strategies I put out only have one way to lose. They only have one style of run of dice that really can beat them. Yes, skill and luck. He's in the chat. Skill and luck. He's in the chat. Skill and luck, by far the best regression style craps player, craps mind. He has regression stuff that is better than everyone else's. It's the truth. I mean, it just is. So, or it's better than all the ones I've seen. I mean, I guess not everyone else. That's kind of a broad statement, but if you want to talk about regression, you want to learn regression styles and why you should do this or why you should do that. Skill's a good one to talk to, and Skill has a channel. And Skill has he's available on a lot of crap stuff. He's around. He's on every people's stuff. So I would just contact him in however you contact him and ask him questions. Yeah, I mean he's going to give you good answers. There's not going to be no bad answers from Skill. So yeah, just contact him. Again, everyone is a little different, right? Like if I was going to tell people to learn to shoot the dice, I'm not going to send them to me. I'm not going to tell you to come to me to learn how to shoot the dice. I'm going to send you the guys that's what they do. That's what they do. That's their craft strategy. That's their style. Because I'm not going to give you all the answers. I don't know all the answers. I'm not a dice controller. I don't claim to be a dice controller, and I don't think I am. But I know some guys that are. And I know some guys that are worth paying attention to. So, again, and they're different styles. They all do something a little different, right? They're all a little different. And they may teach you a chopper. They may teach, a par shot. Or they may teach from the end of the table. They may teach a push shot. They may teach all of them. But all those guys they're going to know a lot more than I am. And, there's other things too, like power pressing. I'm not the best power presser. There's guys that know, okay, when you hit the 6 and 8, if you drop a nickel, you can go to this number. I don't know all that stuff because I don't play that way. Yeah, you got to play with your bankroll, guys. You can't play outside of your means. That's one of the big things too craps players like to do. They come up with 500 and the guy shows up with 5,000 and they want to try to like match what this guy's doing. You don't know. That guy he could be a rich man and he's just throwing $5,000 around. More times than not, the guys that show up with a lot of money at the craps table are not the better craps players. Most of the time, they are not the best craps players. Most of the time, the guys that show up with a lot of money, they're just guys with more money. So, again, this is just my opinion. And obviously you guys care about my opinion because you're on here for an hour and 19 minutes. So, I appreciate you guys for caring about my opinion. And again, guys, I feel like this was a win. This session of this was a win. I know I didn't pull it down, but I could have. We talked through it. So I feel like this was a win. I feel like this one showed regression in a proper light. It showed it go down and then it showed one big boom and you're right back up. I like it. I like how it went. Different than video 2, which never got into a marker, But so it's like 2-1 aggression winning versus over aggression losing. 2-1 so far. 7 more videos. Let's see what happens. Thank you guys for your time. This is Jacob from Wager Me This.